All right, let's get straight to it. Your training begins now. We're not just going to talk about ideas, we are going to forge the 7 habits that command instant respect. Pay attention. First things first, we have to diagnose the problem. And that starts by looking in the mirror. See, if you feel like you're not getting the respect you deserve, the cause isn't out there. It's a reflection of your own actions, your own mindset. Now, that might sound harsh, but it's not meant to tear you down. It's meant to empower you. Why? Because if the fault is yours, then the power to fix it is also yours. And that right there is the very first lesson in self-mastery. So here's the deal. It all boils down to a fundamental trade-off that most people make without even thinking about it. They choose the easy route, cheap validation. A quick like, a moment of comfort, a little hit of approval. But that choice costs them their future power, the real, earned respect that only comes from self-mastery. We're here to choose the other path. Okay, our first area of training is all about presence. This is where we cover the first 2 habits. You see, true authority is something that's felt before you even open your mouth. It's in how you carry yourself, how you move, how you connect with people without saying a word. The first habit is stillness. Just think about it for a second. People who are always rushing, they look desperate, kind of insecure, right? They're just reacting to whatever the world throws at them. But when you move slowly, with purpose, you send a powerful signal that you are in complete control. In the middle of all the chaos, your stillness makes you an anchor. And that's exactly why it's so effective. It works on a subconscious level. People might not even know why they're reacting to you, but they will absolutely register your calm presence as authority. It becomes your signature. And that leads us to the second habit of presence, eye contact. This is a subtle little test of will that happens in almost every conversation you have. Most people look away first. Why? Because they're intimidated or they're uncomfortable with that social pressure. Your job is to not be one of them. Now, the key here is balance. This is not about some aggressive stare down. It's a calm, steady gaze that just says, I'm here, I'm present, and I am unshakable. When you master this, you show the world that you can't be easily rattled or pushed off your game. Okay, now we build on that foundation. Your presence sets the stage, but it's your words that are going to seal the deal. The way you speak will either build up your authority or it'll completely destroy it. Let me be crystal clear. This is an absolute rule. The moment you start over-explaining everything, you're basically begging for someone else's approval. You are giving away your power. You're telling them you need their validation. Your dignity is simply not up for negotiation. So, you've got to shift your focus. Stop trying to justify yourself and start taking action. Seriously, high-value people do not waste their breath trying to convince others of their worth. They pour that energy into their work, and their results become undeniable. So, here are the tactics. First, cut the fluff. Long, rambling speeches signal a lack of confidence. Short, sharp sentences, they have impact. Second, use a person's name, but just once, to really grab their full attention. And third, learn to hold back. A little bit of mystery creates authority. The less you reveal, the more weight your words will carry. This brings us to what might be the most critical lesson of all, boundaries. If your presence is your signature and your words are your tools, then your time is your power. How you spend it tells everyone else how much it's worth. It's a fundamental law of economics. And you know what? It's a fundamental law of social dynamics too. Anything that's abundant is seen as low value, but anything that's scarce is seen as a luxury. And that applies directly to you and your availability. Look, the person who's constantly available becomes a resource for everyone else to use. Their entire schedule is dictated by other people's demands. But the person who protects their time, they're communicating that it's a valuable asset, one that's reserved for their own growth. It's a luxury that other people have to earn. And this is how you enforce those boundaries. When someone disrespects you or undervalues you, don't get into an argument. Don't engage. The most powerful response you can have is to simply withdraw your presence and your energy. Walking away isn't quitting. It's taking control by refusing to play a rigged game. All right, we're moving into the final area of training now, your demeanor. This is all about forging an inner state of mind that projects outward, making you pretty much impossible to manipulate with either praise or criticism. Now, I want you to master the neutral mask. And listen, this doesn't mean being cold or unfriendly, but constantly smiling, especially when it's not genuine, is often read as a need for approval or worse, as a sign of weakness. To be taken seriously, you need to adopt a default demeanor that is calm, stoic, and neutral. Make your reactions a choice, not just a reflex. And this is the goal. This is the pinnacle of that untouchable demeanor. Think about it. Most people are like puppets, pulled around by the strings of what other people think. A compliment makes them fly high, an insult sends them crashing down. When you truly internalize your own sense of worth, you cut those strings. You become untouchable. So, we've gone through the training, we've laid out the habits, and now it all comes down to a final, stark choice. A choice that only you can make. And these are your two paths. The path of self-mastery. It's lonely sometimes. It takes discipline when nobody's watching. That's what win in the dark really means. The other path? Well, that one's crowded. It's comfortable, it gives you that cheap validation, and it leads to you staying exactly where you are, forever. So this leaves you with one last question. Remember, respect isn't given, it's commanded. It starts with the habits we've trained on today. The choice is yours. Are you going to command the game, or are you going to let the game control you?